Before we start this video, make sure to like it, subscribe the channel and ring the bell icon. In this series of Arnav Talks, we'll be talking about the past, present and future of the various political parties of India. Today we'll be talking about the oldest party of India, the Indian National Congress. After the first war of independence, the British started inducing artificial famines in India. In the famine of 1876 to 1878, 70 lakh Indian people were killed. The rest started to create a murmur of dissatisfaction in the early 1880s. A man named Alan Octavian Hume of the Indian Civil Services was scared that the starving Indian population would create an uprising. The ground reports said that there was imminent danger of a terrible outbreak. The population was convinced that they would starve to death. They wanted to do something, and that something was violence. Hume retired in 1882 and decided to create a safety valve for the British Empire. He reached out to the leading educated Indians. Hume made sure that Surendranath Banerjee wasn't invited as he was a bit radical. Eventually, in December 1885, Hume and his 72 delegates from different parts of India met in Bombay and formed the Indian National Congress. The entire affair was strictly controlled and the general public wasn't allowed in. Chandra Banerjee was elected as the president. He lived the life of an Englishman. The speeches and statements were ridiculously servile. Dadabhai Naoroji stated in his presidential address of 1893, "I have never faltered in my faith in the British character and have always believed that a time will come when the sentiments of the British nation and our gracious sovereign proclaimed to us in the Great Charter of Proclamations of 1858 will be realized." The INC began to include new radical members in the 1890s like Lokmanya Tilak. Unlike the other leaders, Tilak could connect to the larger population. The Ganpati festival helped Tilak to mobilize people in Maharashtra. Using the same principle, he started celebrating Shiva Jayanti in Pune. In one of the annual conferences of the INC in 1902, one of the first speakers proclaimed, "It is for the Indians' benefit that the British power should continue to be supreme in our land." Surendranath Banerjee in his presidential address said, "We plead for the permanence of British rule in India." Tilak also met Aurobindo Ghosh in this conference. During this period, Tilak of Maharashtra, Lala Lajpat of Punjab and Bipin of Bengal came together and formed the trio Lal-Bal-Pal. In the INC conference of 1907, the Congress split into two factions, the Loyalists and the Nationalists. It was originally going to be held in Nagpur, but the Loyalists under Gopal Krishna Gokhale shifted the venue to Surat, not giving Tilak the advantage of the home turf. The Loyalists were housed in luxury tents near the podium, while the Nationalists were crammed in dharamshalas in the city's bazaar. The Nationalists wanted their candidate Lala Lajpat elected president and passed a resolution for the continuation of the Swadeshi movement. That night, a compromise was reached. Loyalist Raj Bihari Ghosh would become president, but the nationalist demands would be included in the resolution. However, Tilak, who had become an important and experienced leader, didn't receive a draft of the resolution. The next day, the conference started. Tilak received the resolution and he found that none of his demands were included in the resolution. Surendranath Banerjee was saying a speech at that time. A murmur went through the Nationalists which led to sloganeering. Surendranath Banerjee's speech had to be stopped and the conference started the next day. When Surendranath Banerjee continued his speech, Tilak sent a note to the Loyalists that he would support the nomination but would like to make an amendment to the proposed resolution. However, when Surendranath Banerjee ended his speech and Raj Bihari Ghosh's name was announced as president, Motilal Nehru hurriedly supported it before Tilak could even walk to the stage. Tilak lodged a protest but was shouted down. A gang of hired goons then attacked him and dragged him off. A group of nationalists from Maharashtra went to protect him. There was chaos, shoes and chairs were thrown at each other. The split was complete. That evening, the two camps held separate meetings. Aurobindo Ghosh presided over the nationalist session with Tilak as principal speaker. From now, we are going to be focusing on the Loyalist faction. I forgot to add, after the 1905 Partition of Bengal, the Nationalists became more vocal and active for their demand of a free Bharat. By 1917, the Nationalist faction was attracting a lot of popularity under Lokmanya Tilak and Annie Besant. The Loyalist faction was failing to attract the populace. That changed when Mohandas Gandhi parachuted in the Loyalist faction. Although Gandhi came to India by 1915, his popularity started to boom in the 1920s. Gandhi's message of non-violence and non-cooperation attracted the masses. In the 1920s, Gandhi started the Satyagraha movement, which is overshadowed by the Khilafat movement and the horrific Mopla Riots. After World War I, the British and the French started treating the Caliph, who was the ruler of the Muslim world, badly. Gandhi believed that by helping the Muslims by re-establishing the Caliphate, the Muslims would help in the fight for independence. This fundamentally is wrong. Muslims helped in the fight for independence much before Gandhi came to India, much before Gandhi was even born. Hindus and Muslims died together in the first war of independence. Then there was another freedom fighter in what is today northwestern frontier province of Pakistan named Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. He was a Gandhian. Coming back, this eventually led to the horrific Mopla riots in Kerala against the Hindus and Christians. Neither did the INC intervene in this, neither did the British Indian Army. This eventually led with the rise of popularity of Muhammad Ali Jinnah and the Muslim League and their demand for Pakistan.